I want to talk today about wisdom for the future. Let's face it, as lockdown begins to ease both in Great Britain and throughout most of the world, our minds are turning to the future. We've got a long way to go before anything like the old normality comes back. But the question is, what will it look like and how can we plan for it as individuals, as families, perhaps as a church community, or even the village or town where you live, or the country where you're a resident. All those different structures are going to have to think about the future, and we're going to need great wisdom to know how to live in this future. It seems very unlikely indeed that there's going to be a vaccine for COVID-19 anytime soon, which means that without that or some kind of curative treatment at least, we're going to have to learn to live with the disease. So, what will the future be and how will we act as we go into the future? Many of us are thinking about the implications of that. But frankly, we haven't a clue what's going to happen next, what the world will look like, or how our lives will look. And that's a bit disconcerting to many of us as we think about the future. There's a great story tucked away in the pages of quite an obscure Old Testament book of Chronicles, about a king rejoicing in the great name of Jehoshaphat. And he was up against a huge enemy that he was powerless to defeat in normal human military terms, and he didn't really have a clue about what tactics to engage in, what strategies he needed. He felt overwhelmed, and so he did what any good, faithful king of Judah would do. He prayed. It's a good thing for us to do too. And so he prays. It's quite a long prayer, seeking God's help and advice. And this is how the prayer concludes. It's found in the second of the two books of Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, chapter 20 and verse 12. This is the great climax of Jehoshaphat's prayer. Here it is. O our God, will you not judge them? Will you not deal with the enemy? For we have no power to face this vast army that's attacking us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. And it's this lovely sentence which I commend to you today for your prayers to use as you cry to God about the future, which is so unknown, so covered up, so not revealed to us at the moment. We hardly know what things will look like in a couple of weeks' time, never mind a couple of months or a couple of years. So as you think about the future, what will family life look like? What will my work situation be? How will I plan for it? What if I'm on the cusp of retirement or being offered early retirement? Should I take it? How will I know what to do if I'm made redundant? What will that mean? If my church gets back together eventually, but it's socially distanced and it changes the nature of church, how will I cope with that? Perhaps my church is facing big decisions in the future. What kind of vicar or pastor will we need? What kind of staffing arrangements? How will we use our building in the future? For us personally, what will our lives look like going forward? Will our community be different? What if businesses that are currently operating don't operate anymore because sadly they've been unable to continue functioning? So there are very big questions about the future which we simply don't know the answers to. And yet we need to be preparing ourselves for whatever that future is. I think this sentence is a really good way to approach God in all of this. To humbly and honestly, transparently say to God what he already knows, that we do not know what to do. Frankly, we don't. I've got, as you may have gathered from some of these vlogs, some fairly strong opinions about all sorts of things. But really, I'm not sure what the future is going to look like or how best we should be Christian witnesses into that future, precisely what the church should look like in that future, or how would society best be served by the church in the future. But I do know this, God loves us and loves our world and wants the best for it. So join me in praying this prayer today. We do not know what to do, Lord, but our eyes are on you. We're going to fix our eyes on God. We're going to ask him. We're going to seek divine assistance for the way ahead. Not knowing what to do is perfectly okay, as long as today we turn to the one who does know what to do and seek his wisdom.